dun 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 dun. Fucking hella fast, B. Let's get right into it. Alright, I don't have a catchphrase, I don't have an intro, I don't have anything that I can use every time, but this is the start of my One Piece YouTube channel. And for you guys who don't know, my name is Rasslin Haslam. I don't have a moniker yet. I don't have a YouTube name. I'm going to figure this out, think of a couple of things as I go along. Probably like the first 6 months, you might see a couple name changes here and there. But today I wanted to talk about Shanks. And it's not that hefty for like a first video, but I just wanted to talk about, I don't know, like how he's gonna die, how he's not gonna die. I have like two main theories of the impact of Shanks in the story, and then how Oda will write it, and go along like basically those two things. And for the foreseeable future, within like the next, I don't know, 200, 300 chapters, this is like more towards endgame stuff. I don't see him dying. It makes no sense thematically for Shanks to be off-screen killed by Blackbeard when Blackbeard's making a move, but Blackbeard's move right now seems to be Wano, and he's heading towards that way, probably to steal Kaido's Devil Fruit, not just to kill Shanks. Shanks was just talking with the Gorosei, and he was like, yo, I gotta talk to you about a pirate. Pirate's probably Blackbeard. It's just a huge meta theory right now that Blackbeard's something beyond the worst thing that can happen to the One Piece world. But he's just a dude. He just has that much power, and he has that much influence, and he's a Yonko now. So I can't see Shanks being killed by Blackbeard within like the next, I don't know, unless, like I said, 200, 300 chapters. So what I see happening with Shanks is one of two things. I have all my notes on my phone, so if you see me constantly looking down, one, it's because I'm new, and two, it's because all my notes are on my phone. So post Wano, I don't see Shanks pulling up to Wano. I don't see how it would fit into the story. So this happens post Wano, whether that be immediately following Wano, or a miniature arc between Wano and Elbath, because I think we're going to Elbath next, or towards the end of Elbath, or post Elbath. I think Shanks' crew is finally going to meet up, and him and Luffy are going to have that conversation from mentor to student or influencer to Luffy. Because Shanks is basically like the start of all this. Luffy wanted to be like, yo, I want to be a motherfucking pirate. And then Shanks is like, no, you suck. You're like 10 years old. You're 7 years old. You can't do anything right now. And so this is why Luffy has set out to be a great pirate. It's because of Shanks' words and his influence. So the first way that I see it is they'll meet up. Whether, like I said, whether it be post Wano or it be post Elbath. I think the whole crew is going to get like the last training arc. I think Shanks's impact in meeting with Luffy and the crew is going to be the last training arc for both Luffy and the rest of his crew. So the way that this plays out in my headcanon is they meet up on an island post a fight, before a fight, someone's recovering, something happens, and they meet up, and Shanks finally goes, you're a good pirate. You're a great pirate. You're considered one of us. And Luffy's like, oh, thanks. Whatever Luffy's going to say, because it's hard to freestyle Luffy's words, because Oda has so much playing for him. And they get together, and it's just kind of a chill, fun party. Maybe like the last lighthearted scene that we'll get, because like I said, I imagine this a little bit later in the game. I see them hanging out, like Luffy asking Shanks all these questions, not necessarily about Raftel or the One Piece, but more about like Gold Roger, seeing like how his adventure was, how Shanks' adventure was, like everything that he did, and just like we might get like a Shanks backstory during this time. I'd be really surprised if we didn't get a Shanks backstory if there's an arc where Shanks and Luffy are hanging out, even if that arc is like Reverie length and less than 10 chapters. Oh no, the first YouTube stutter. I'm still going to put that in. I'm not even going to edit that out. And then Zoro would probably hang out with like Ben Beckman. I don't know who Nami would hang out with. Robin might just ask a couple questions like, what was it like learning about the Void Century through your guys' adventure without spoiling any details. Usopp's probably going to start saying some crazy shit if he's alive by that time. And we'll get this arc where you learn more about Shanks and you learn more about his implications and his impact within the One Piece world. And Luffy, old enough to recognize what's going on now, would be interested in it, and it would be one of those reflection moments of where the mentor teaches the student more than just a technique or a fighting style or some advanced form of knowledge. Really, it'd just be more of like an eye-opener for Luffy. Luffy would be super excited to hear about all this, and that's basically just like the premise of my idea. Is there's going to be a miniature arc involving Shanks, involving Luffy, talking and hanging out and doing all this kind of stuff. And then the second way that I see it, so then we have Shanks' death. And if Shanks is going to die, the only way that it actually makes sense is if Shanks dies in the hands of Blackbeard's in front of Luffy's eyes. Oda can't off-screen someone as important as Shanks, the whole start of the story, and what progressed Luffy to be a pirate, be off-screen then told in a flashback when Blackbeard meets up with Luffy on Raftel. So I don't see that happening. The only thing that I do see happening is if Shanks is, in a sense, waiting at Raftel. Post Wano, post Elbaf, post whatever arc we're going to Raftel into. I can see Shanks waiting there, waiting for Luffy, and Blackbeard pulls up. And Blackbeard's like, "The treasure is mine, bitch!" And then Shanks is like, "No, you gotta chill. This isn't for you. You might have made it here, but I will stop you." And then they get into this kind of fight. I don't want to call it a war, but they get into a fight, right? And it's just Blackbeard's crew versus Shanks' crew. And they're going in all out. And then Luffy pulls up in between this, in the middle of all this. And let's say Shanks like hooks left and he goes, "Oh, Luffy, you've made it," and then Blackbeard kills him. I don't think that would work because of his Kombosho no Haki. But I see in this Raftel arc where Shanks could die by Blackbeard's hands and Luffy sees it. This has a couple of implications, but I want to get on to like 2 or 3 of the major ones. Is one, Oda can use this for a power up for Luffy, one of those rage moments, one of those, "You killed my clan. I will now kill you. I have been seeking revenge on you." One of those. And yeah, it makes sense that Luffy can get a power up. He can go kind of like beyond his limits, but going beyond your limits isn't necessarily like a One Piece thing. That's more of like a Black Clover or like a My Hero thing. But it could definitely entice something of a rage moment with Luffy. 2, the implications would be Shanks' death on Luffy if he saw it right in front of his eyes. It would kind of be like an Ace 2.0. And even though Ace and Luffy weren't blood brothers, they had a close enough bond to where Luffy was shocked for 2 weeks afterwards. And when he woke up from his coma, he was still in like despair and peril and couldn't believe that Ace died right in front of him. So for him to see his mentor, for him to see the dude he's been chasing after this whole entire time die right before his eyes, it would be pretty shocking for Luffy as well. And this would affect Luffy's mental state in the sense of, this is it. This might be my turning point. He probably won't have an inner monologue or anything, but he would definitely switch gears to becoming more of like an adult figurehead that a lot of people want Luffy to be. A lot of people want Luffy to be a kid. Oda said it himself that he wants Luffy to be a kid forever, but Luffy can't be a kid forever. He has to grow up at some point in the story. So this could be the one and only triggering point for Luffy to fully become a not kid anymore. I don't really want to say adult because Oda will never write Luffy as an adult. But that's the implications on Luffy. And then Shanks' implications of death. My third point would be his implication of his death onto the whole entire world. Shanks has been seen talking with the Gorosei in some of the most recent chapters, and even back to Marineford. Sengoku admired him enough to say, "Alright, let's stop this war. Let's finish this. Take Whitebeard, take Ace, bury their bodies, go have a proper pirate funeral. I respect you that much." And He even told everybody there, he said, yo, if you want to fight, we'll be your enemies, and nobody stepped up to the plate, even Blackbeard. So this implication would mean Shanks isn't necessarily a gatekeeper for peace in the One Piece world, but he is some sort of guard for knowledge and peace and for almost like tranquility, even though the whole entire pirate world is going ruckus right now post the Marineford War. And you have so many people who are going to be, or trying to become the Pirate King. You got like, Kaido just wants to die, so he wants to start a war. But like Big Mom wanted to be one, Blackbeard wants to be one, wants to be it. Kid wants to be it. Like there's a couple other people. Doflamingo wanted to become the Pirate King. And so Shanks, in some point in his life, since becoming a Yonko, whatever age he became a Yonko, has been keeping these power systems in place to where people can't become the Pirate King, and he was waiting for that person, so it'd be waiting on Luffy, essentially, to become the Pirate King. So his death, if it happens in the Raftel arc, and then we go into the final war arc, it turns it from a 1v1v1 with the world government and the pirates and the Yonko to a free-for-all, really. You just see a bunch of people who would be flying underneath Luffy's flag fighting against the world government. There wouldn't necessarily be massive pirate crews anymore. There'd be no Yonkos, because by the end of the story, he can't have Kaido. He's probably dying this arc. Can't have Big Mom. She's going to be defeated in Elbaf or post near Elbaf. Shanks is going to be dead, because the theories I'm saying is that he dies by the hands of Blackbeard. Luffy defeats Blackbeard at Raftel, becomes the Pirate King, then he has to fight the world government. So there's going to be no more Yonko. There's going to be a lot of free-floating pirates. There's going to be a lot of people that Luffy has influenced over the story. There's going to be no peace. It's going to be Luffy and the crew and everyone he's met, probably, versus the world government. And the way that Shanks plays into this is you can't have that. You can't have that from chapter, what are we on, 930 till up until like the final war arc, which I'm guessing is probably about 350, 400 chapters out. You just can't have that. So Shanks has been this gatekeeper of peace. He's been this person of such high stature to where you can't necessarily do much in the world without two people knowing it, and I assume those two people are Shanks and Emu. So his death is basically going to be the catalyst for all this, and there's just going to be a giant war arc. Okay. So I think Shanks is more likely going to be alive till the end of the series. The only way I see him dying is at Raftel by Blackbeard's hands. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or want to know who I am or want to support, please, please, please don't follow me until you actually realize that you want to follow me. Don't do it just because I'm asking for subscribers, but I do want to grow my YouTube channel. So subscribe when you want to subscribe. Like the video. Please don't dislike it, because that'd be rough. And if you have any theories about Shanks being alive or dead by the end of the series, comment down below. Thank you. Hopefully I'll see y'all soon. Later.